Today's case is urgent and personal. Authorities need your help. An Army veteran named Travis Decker is on the run, and he's wanted for one of the most heartbreaking crimes I've ever covered in real time. 32-year-old Travis Decker is accused of killing his three daughters, Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia, after a court-ordered visit in Washington state in late May. On May 30th, 2025, the Decker sisters got into their father's truck for what was supposed to be a routine 3-hour visit, max. However, they were never returned to their mom, Whitney. Instead, authorities say that Travis kidnapped his own daughters and then murdered them. Welcome back, True Crime Army. I am your host, Margot, and this is the case of fugitive Travis Decker. Travis Caleb Decker is an Army veteran with a Ranger tab, and he is still on the rolls as an active member of the National Guard. Though I will say that he's been AWOL for over a year, he knows how to survive off-grid. And I'm not just saying that because of his military service. No, I'm saying that because this man has actually lived out in the woods and survived for at least 2.5 months stints at a time. This guy is dangerous, and guess what? He is still out there. Quick warning, today's episode involves violence against children. It's a hard story, but it's one that we need to tell to honor not only these girls, but to help catch the man who did this.
Military murder is an independent project and is not endorsed by the Department of Defense or any military component. The views expressed are those of the host. The content of this podcast is not meant to be legal or medical advice. Warning, this episode contains graphic details of murder and is not suitable for young listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
Friday, May 30th, 2025, Whitney Decker dropped off her daughters, 9-year-old Peyton, 8-year-old Evelyn, and 5-year-old Olivia for a scheduled visit with her ex-husband and the father of the girls, Travis Decker. Travis was supposed to return them back to their mom that evening. He didn't. The girls were never seen alive again. When the girls failed to return at their scheduled time, Whitney tried calling Travis. No answer. And then it started going straight to voicemail. Panic set in. By 9:45 p.m., Whitney called the Wenatchee PD and reported her children missing. But guess what? No Amber Alert was issued. You see, police didn't think that the girls were in imminent danger since Travis had taken them before without issue. So they felt that the case didn't give rise to the strict Amber Alert requirements. That decision would prove to be a tragic mistake. On Saturday morning, May 31st, one of the girls was scheduled to participate in a 5K race. When Travis failed to show up with the girls, Whitney's worry turned to full-blown fear. She knew something was seriously wrong. I mean, she already knew this, but now it was crystal clear. By then, police had begun working on a custodial interference arrest warrant for Travis, but still no Amber Alert. Criteria still not met. Instead, the state focused on a statewide endangered missing person alert, an EMPA. Whitney believes that decision cost her children their lives. She's made it clear. If an Amber Alert had gone out that Friday night, her daughters might still be alive. Nonetheless, search efforts continued. Authorities scoured motels, campgrounds, anywhere Travis might have gone. But he and the girls had vanished. Behind the scenes, red flags were stacking up. After accessing Travis's Google records, they found that he had been searching how to move to Canada, Canada employment, Canada jobs, and this was worrisome. Monday, June 2nd, at roughly 3:45 p.m., 3 days after the abduction, deputies found Travis's abandoned white GMC Sierra near a remote campsite in Leavenworth, Washington. Inside the truck, they found blankets, food, the girls' car seats, and Travis's wallet. 2 bloody handprints on the tailgate. Nearby, a tent and a cooler. It looked like Travis had planned to camp there or had at least been camping there. Also found nearby was Travis's dog, still alive. And don't worry, he was taken safely to the Humane Society. Then, about 100 yards from that truck, police made a horrific discovery. The bodies of all 3 girls had been discovered. Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia. They were found in the brush. Each had been suffocated, plastic bags over their heads, zip ties on their little wrists. After this discovery, Governor Ferguson released a statement. Quote, "As a parent, my heart goes out to Whitney and all who loved these children," end quote. Travis, though, he was gone with the wind. So who is Travis Decker? He's 5'8" tall, about 190 pounds, black hair, brown eyes, and he has various tattoos on his arms and ankle. He's an Army veteran, he's trained, he's resourceful, and he's deeply unstable. Court records show that this man lost housing over a year and a half ago. He'd been living out of his truck, avoiding mental health treatment, and skipping child support payments. Just 2 days before the murders, he crashed his truck at a red light. Uninsured, unlicensed, and to boot, he received a $750 fine. He probably felt like the world was caving in on him. He was spiraling. His ex-wife, Whitney, told investigators that he had borderline personality disorder and that he wasn't taking his meds at the time. The courts barred overnight visits with the children, which he did have at one point, and they ordered treatment. But he would still see his kids, but he refused the treatment aspect of it. And as the hunt for Travis intensified, phone records showed that Travis had visited that same campground where the girls were found deceased. And he had visited that campsite the day before he picked them up for their routine visit. What does that mean? That means that this was likely premeditated. Law enforcement launched a massive manhunt. U.S. Marshals, FBI, drones, dogs, helicopters, even the National Guard. They focused on Leavenworth, but they looked statewide, and they even crossed the border, right? Travis had Googled moving to Canada, and the murder scene was just 11 miles from the Pacific Crest Trail, which leads north to Canada. Since hosting a press conference, over 500 tips have come into the police department. One reported sighting was in McCall, Idaho. That turned out to be a false lead, but the search is still very much active. On June 3rd, a state warrant was issued, 3 counts of aggravated murder, 3 counts of kidnapping. On June 5th, the feds added a federal charge, unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. Authorities believe that Travis is armed and dangerous and possibly hiding in the wilderness. He has survival training. He has lived off the grid before. In addition to the search, public warnings have gone out. People have been told to keep their lights on, to check their cabins, report anything suspicious. A GoFundMe for Whitney has raised over $1.2 million. The school the girls attended released a statement and is offering grief counseling for classmates. I mean, these little girls were 5, 8, and 9. They all went to the same elementary school, and this case is just so tragic. So here's what you can do to help. Be on the lookout for this fugitive. Travis Caleb Decker, 32 years old, 5'8" tall, 190 pounds, black hair, brown eyes, all these tattoos that you see in these pictures, tattoos on his arms and one on his ankle, scruffy looking face, but this is him with a clean face. If you see him, do not approach. Call 911 or the Chelan County tip line at 509-667-6845. You can also contact the U.S. Marshals or the FBI. There's also a $20,000 reward for tips leading to his arrest. 3 young girls gone, a mother grieving, a community reeling, and this man is still on the run. Let's help bring Travis Decker to justice. I am your host, Margot, and you are listening to Military Murder, a video podcast where I bring you cautionary tales to tell you to remain vigilant always, regardless of your surroundings. I've been producing this show since 2019. As a mom with 3 girls very close in age to the Decker sisters, I will never stop praying for Whitney. I will be updating you as soon as I hear anything about this case, so be sure to subscribe to the channel for all updates. And I will be putting out a more lengthy audio edition of this episode very soon.